Stay tuned. Somebody's going to join in a minute. Can you hear me? Nice. Just waiting on someone to invite me to a live. Thank you. Wow, nice. Few people here. I'm about to duo with someone. That's why we're on here tonight. I'm just waiting for the invite. Yeah, it should be any minute now. Let's see. Yeah, breathing's extremely important. Breath is life, really. Yellow. We're just waiting here. We're supposed to be invited to a live stream at 8. So just hang out for a minute. Got nothing else to do? There it is. Hello.
What's up?
Not much. What's going on?
Chilling.
Thanks.
How are you?
Good. Thanks. We did it.
We did it. It worked.
Thank God. I painted my helmet for you too.
It looks good. I was gonna say it looks good. Let me
Thanks.
see the back. Is there a backside to it? There you go. Good shit.
Yeah.
I do like it.
There's going to be new ones in the future, like all the time, just randomly.
Really?
Yeah. Console King is here. Nice.
Do the colors mean anything?
Well, yellow is extremely spiritual. Like if you go to India, everyone there is wearing yellows and beautiful pastel colors. Mm-hmm. And it's my son's favorite color too. And I think that first favorite color, right, represents what kind of soul you are. Like an indigo child, your first favorite color. Like mine was purple.
Hmm.
So I purple in here, and then the yellow.
Okay, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah,
So red was I think my first favorite color. I just don't know what red represents.
red.
I know red's associated with the root chakra.
You know, we use red clay to create, the deity created the Native Americans with red clay.
Hmm.
Red is a very powerful, like creative color, but red can also be destructive if it gets out of control.
Hmm.
So I think red is a very strong creative color, and when reined in properly, can do almost anything.
Sounds like my brain, very chaotic, but when I zone in on something, it goes pretty good.
Yeah, same. I can never focus on what I am supposed to focus on, but I
No.
have like 25 tasks running in my head on all the stuff that I like.
um, I realized I had really bad ADHD as I got older. I realized how bad it was when I was younger. And just recently I was realizing certain really like bad tendencies I had that were directly associated with it. Like one of the really bad ones is like I'll be talking and then I'll just completely forget what I was just saying. Like just gone. New
Your brain
thought.
can a lot faster than your mouth can.
Yes, most definitely. The
You know,
physical.
go
Oh,
ahead. Sorry.
hey. Hi. I have a moderator in here.
Nice.
So if anyone starts talking on some stupid shit, they'll kick them out.
Yeah, stalker type. He replied to every single comment, my whole channel, pretty much.
I always reply to live comments. Always.
Nice.
So I'm waiting for people to start talking so we can get a conversation going.
Couple on my side. I've got June who says that his color was blue.
Blue?
Yeah,
Oh, so you get different comments than I see?
it looks like it. We get maybe our followers.
Hmm.
Is
Okay,
there
that's
a,
interesting. That's cool. Okay, I didn't know that. I've never actually gone live with anyone on here.
me either. I'm trying to see if I can join the comments together or not. Wow.
Let's see. What are we talking about? You're interested? Well, we were just talking about colors. I started talking about ADHD. We were talking about the color red. We were talking about indigo children.
Yeah.
We're talking about the colors yellow, purple. What else did we talk about?
Well, I was just talking about your color. You know.
Oh yeah,
But
and you're talking about the natives.
okay, Messiah. A Messiah of Fire here says he is the last king.
Who?
On my, I'm just reading a comment.
Who is the last king? Is there a
Uh,
meaning behind the helmet? That's what my comments are asking.
the meaning behind the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Um,
It's a
I have,
statement piece, man. It's a statement piece.
well, I've had a face before online on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's better to put a message out if I don't have one because there's nothing to associate it with as far as me, and I can just put out messages of hope and trying to help people empower themselves without it being about me. Like maybe it's about the helmet, but not me, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah, it's
And
definitely it's an eye catcher. It gets me like, hey, it's Glitch. Like
yeah,
everyone, I think that recognizes you, like they know like the helmet. You know, it's like it's statement for sure.
it's, yeah, I don't know. I saw it one day in my room and I decided to turn it into this
Hmm.
because my whole life I felt like I had gone through these horrible experiences in order to learn things. And that I felt like I needed to try to turn those into ways to help other people find who they are younger, and it's my destiny to do that. And so I decided, you know what? Let's do it.
The teacher. That's what I feel a lot of times. I'm 20, I'm young, and I feel like that with like my younger, like the younger people in my life. I feel like the teacher. I feel like I had to go through the bullshit to tell them the stories, to like educate them on what not to do, what the majority of people will tell you, and then like how it really goes and what it's really like. But like
Hmm.
I had to go through the bullshit. And like I used to look at it like negatively, like especially my past. I just looked at it in a very negative light. And as I kind of woke up, I realized that I would not be anything. I wouldn't be shit if I didn't go through shit. I wouldn't be shit. And I
Yeah,
realized that. And that definitely gave me that duality perspective on life where I kind of fell in the rabbit hole, started looking up words and numerology. And then I started researching like a bunch of other shit. But like, yeah, I just fell into it off of
yeah. Do
nothing.
you like obsessed with a subject and then kind of dive into it and learn every single thing about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All
It's
day
it,
long, man.
and it's the only thing on your mind.
Yeah, when it first started, you got to imagine, for me, this was over 20 years ago. Um, it's like I started absorbing things, right? Just everything that was around me that was interesting, I started absorbing it, and it never left my brain.
Mhm.
And I just kept wanting more and more and more, and I get super interested in stuff. But the only thing I ever stayed interested in that was one thing was the guitar. That's it. Everything else, I want to know everything,
Yeah.
and
No, I know.
complicated.
I tell people like at job interviews, they go, tell me something about you. I'm like, I like to know absolutely everything. Like the more I feel like the more things you can branch off and learn, the more perspectives you get, and it gives you better social skills. That's one thing. You get better social skills, but I feel like having different perspectives just helps you understand life a little bit better. And I feel like in society, one of the other brainwashing techniques that they use is like telling you to do one thing your entire life because it keeps you plateaued by the age of 21, pretty much.
That's what our whole school system is designed to do, though.
Yep.
You know,
That's it.
but
That's it. That's all it is.
I don't want to get pulled from the live. We don't have to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But yes,
like there's a danger to wanting to know everything, and
that's
you
true.
confused about who you are when you go too far into different things just to discover them. You start to change your perspective based on these new perspectives you're taking in. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes you lose the thing you were searching for on the journey. And so it's important to first establish exactly who you are before learning everything else about the world.
Grounding.
It's very important because I teach this about sensing energies around you. You have to
Mhm.
sit in a place where there is no energy. Feel yours, adapt to your energy, know exactly what you feel like. Then,
Mhm.
whenever someone else invades it, you'll know it's them and not you.
Mhm.
You can pick up different sensitivities to people. Like you can tell who's who by their energy or how they're feeling by their energy if you know well enough exactly how you feel.
Yeah. Definitely as an empath, um now that I'm more aware of what I'm feeling because I've educated myself a little more. I mean they don't no one's told me like this is what you're feeling. I just kind of experience it.
Yeah,
But differentiating my feelings from other people's feelings is very, very challenging. And I realized that a lot of my anxiety in my life was related to the people around me. I mean, like I have my own anxiety, like most definitely 100%. But I noticed that a lot of what it was coming from was that like I felt comfort with other people with anxiety, but then I was just feeling their anxiety too. So it was like it was it's hard to explain, but it kind of was like shooting myself in the foot on
it
purpose.
makes you have to master. See, emotions are a nervous system response to stimulus in the world. It's actually up to you how you respond to every single stimulus that occurs. If something scary happens, you can train yourself to not react in fear at first. That's something you can legitimately do. So, should you take on sadness from someone who is sad? You can help them and empathize with them, but you don't have to be them. You can choose what you feel and when you feel it, and then you have power.
Yeah, one thing that I also like looking back, I've been reflecting a lot on my life because I have gone through a lot of change recently, so I'm kind of like looking back and kind of scratching my head. But basically, one second, one
All
moment.
right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to take on other people's feelings. I understand.
Okay, I'm back.
You're back.
Yes. Okay. So it was, I feel better. Like, why I do what I do is because, like, one of the reasons I like to make people happy is because I can feel when they're happy. And that's one of the things that makes me happy. Like, genuinely, like, I like to make other people happy, genuinely. And a thing that I gain from it is I feel happy too. So, like, doing the shit I do, like, that's really what it is. It's all
Yeah.
about putting smiles on people's faces. Like, I went to LA earlier in January. Me and my friend made a song, and it had like over 200,000 streams now, and it's doing pretty good. And like just seeing people make videos to it, smiling, laughing, I can like sense that now. Like through a
Nice.
screen, I can feel it. I can see it in their faces and their eyes, especially. And like that is one of the things that definitely gets me up every day.
And don't forget those smiles, those happy things, the good deeds. Like for me, by going and doing uh, like homeless people, right? I do things I don't want to say because that gift belongs to them. It's not for me to share, but I
I know
do
what you're
think,
talking about.
okay, those fill in stuff that I didn't have maybe when I was a kid, right?
Mhm.
But have to be careful because we pile all these happy things we've done and good deeds on top of a hole. But we got to sometimes dig down in through those things and into that original hole and make sure we're filling ourselves and make sure our happiness is truly from a source and we're not, so putting other things there. Like I
Yeah.
know it's great, but don't forget to make yourself extremely happy.
Yeah, one thing I feel like that is also directly related to the grounding thing. Um, and one thing I noticed when I started educating myself on what I was feeling was that was where I was missing it. I had zero grounding. I was just like off the charts everywhere, absolutely just left, right. Didn't know who I was friends with, didn't know where I was, didn't know who I was. Just kind of was, I was dealing with some mental stuff, going through some other stuff like that, and I had no grounding. Once I haven't mastered it, but once I could establish just a concept of grounding,
Yeah.
like in general, mental grounding, spiritual grounding, physical grounding, even, like once I could do that, I feel like everything changed for me. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that at all in their lives at all in any way.
I mean, we're designed to not be grounded in the world that we live in. Everything's wired. How can you ground a wire if it's wireless?
It's true.
you know,
That's true.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we live in a world designed to teach you to follow orders, to complete tasks, to complete multitude of tasks in a timely manner, to earn money, to pay for the slavery ticket. That's your social security.
Ugh.
But
Ouch. But
but there's ways that it's not a big problem. Like people have come through so many things in history. We can turn it around. It's not that big of a deal. We just have
No.
to go back to ourselves.
Mhm.
That's it. You know,
I
we can be,
think one good thing I'd say that came from that I don't think anyone was expecting, that came from kind of being indoors for a little bit. It kind of gave people time to like just think, because if you think about what is expected out of an average work week, you don't really get any time to think, because you
right.
set tasks and they make like I like growing up I was very different. Like I was gonna be a doctor and like all this other stuff. But I feel like I was made to feel that I needed to have a list of shit to do every single day, and that was being successful. Being organized, doing the same, basically the same shit every single day. When are
Yeah.
you thinking in that? You're just doing. You're just
That's,
doing in that.
you know what that's like? It reminds me of a beehive, right? The bees work continuously to build the hive, but they don't know why. They just know that they have to build it. Human beings
Hmm.
technology better and better every single year. Why do we do that? What are we building towards in this hive? Like, what is it? You know?
At this point, it's definitely just power and money, like the next big thing. That's what it is at this point. It used to be sharing ideas and it was cool, but now it's like it is still cool, obviously, to like the average person just looking at it, but when you really know what's going on, it's like that's not really cool anymore. Like
Yeah.
this stuff's not really cool anymore, you know?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
loses its value. Um
Strange in high school because I was like this then. So I wasn't interested in friends. I wanted to go into the forest all the time. I had 300 acres behind my house. I would just explore it, pick mushrooms, just look around and
mhm.
spend time in the forest with myself and my thoughts and introspecting. And I couldn't understand money or the school. I couldn't understand why my parents were mean to each other. I couldn't understand anything. Like what is this? Why? And I separated myself from it because when I was 11, I was in a car accident. We hit a tree going 65 miles an hour head on, and I was in the ambulance. They told my parents I may not make it. And in the helicopter, there was this angel that kept me awake. And when I started to die, dropped the IV bag on my face and woke me up. And I remember being in this moment where I was surrounded by this feeling, and I promised to take care of people for the rest of my life. And I feel like this world, we can come together without this one world government. We can be one world. We
Yeah.
can love one another completely and truly and do what we need to for each other. We just have
How
to
do you
figure it out.
how do you feel about identity? Like all of these labels. I don't really like labels anymore in general, like in any sense. I feel like everything's just dividing. There's no need for it, because you almost don't get to look at the person anymore. You're looking at the labels.
If you have to identify as something, it means in a way you've kind of given up. You don't have to necessarily identify with anything. You can be a part of life and just exist and be in this system and give back the energy which it gives to you without identifying as something.
I feel like right now, especially with all of the stuff you see on the news, I feel like labels are being pushed for a reason, almost to put us in smaller sections,
Yep.
to point more fingers. I feel like that's the agenda behind that. It's like I don't remember there being this much stuff going on, and it's like all happening right now. And if you look at the what is it, the 80-year cycles? Is it 80 years? Do you know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about like the generational cyclical thing.
The like the 80 years, and like it's new age, iron age, or golden age, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it from the Hindi perspective, where they have different, ages with different reincarnations and certain rebirths, but I'm not familiar with. the 80 years?
I don't have the graph, but there was a graph of it, and if I was more educated on it, I'd talk about it more. But definitely, if you are interested in it, like y'all could probably find that on Google. Look into
Oh,
it. It's kind of
yeah. You know, we're getting big. Our country, it's getting huge. So it's difficult to control a whole bunch of things. So, say you got like a whole pack of multicolored marbles, 1,000 of them. You can separate them when they're one by one and figure out where they are, if you throw them on the ground. But if you drop every single one of those marbles on the ground, it's difficult to tell where they are. So you have to create a system to categorize them. So what if labeling everything and finding out, hey, these people here like these genes and these people like this, separate and label them to understand where they are within your system to control them.
and almost like it's an analytical thing, really. Like even TikTok's algorithm has me questioning things sometimes. The way I can tell it's tracking my everything and definitely following me as a human being, even if like I'm not looking anything up or posting anything, like I'll experience, I don't know, it's really strange. I'll barely even talk about it and it'll pop up. It's like it's tracking what's going to happen. It's like it's almost ahead of me in a way sometimes, and it's very, very creepy and strange. But yeah.
Yeah. So my whole life was really weird. I've been very connected to my ancestry, and there's been a lot of, historical Native American mediumship or, spiritual connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was little, my uncle had passed away. He committed suicide.
I'm sorry.
I was little, and I was in my room, and he came in there and he told me, "Hey, I want you to tell my son I love him and I'm sorry, and tell your parents that I'm sorry." And I ran out of my room and I told my parents, "Hey, Uncle Jeremy just came to my room and told me that he died." And then later that night, they got a phone call that he had passed away. So things for me have always been kind of weird like that, and I've always had this feeling that when I got older, there would be a world-changing event, and that I'd be part of it in some weird way. And it's funny, you mentioned the job you wanted when you were younger. I actually wanted to be a biochemist and work at the CDC.
Crazy, huh?
Weird.
Crazy, huh? I have a very,
Yeah.
very different outlook on medicine in general now since I've opened my eyes, and I'm very glad I didn't fall into being a doctor because I feel like it would have been for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I feel like in my mind, I would have told myself it was to help people, but I would have done the work for the money in the future.
Makes sense.
I feel like that's what it would have been. And I'm starting to like see clearly,
Feel like you weren't destined to get a certain level of monetary gain in your life until you became responsible enough to attain it? Oh, I lost you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can you repeat that?
You ever feel like you weren't destined to get like rich or anything major until you were responsible enough to handle it? Like the universe knew?
I I feel like I wasn't. I feel like I'm not supposed to. I definitely get prepared before anything comes. I definitely go through a like dark, stormy, shitty part of life before it's rainbows and sunshines. And I can feel my pendulum swing, and I can feel like leveling up. I can definitely feel the universe preparing me and the events occurring. I can feel the energies, the underlying flows that are pushing and pulling the cause and effect of reality. I can feel them. I feel like most of the time now. And yes, yes, definitely. Yes. Because I I was put in situations to ruin experiences just so now I won't ruin them in the future.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And that's what I've experienced. And that I guess that's good. That's a good thing, I'd say.
It is. So what woke you up at first?
I don't really know. I um I was okay, so last year I was, like I said, last year I was struggling with a bunch of stuff. Um it was after I tripped a couple times. I think once kind of like had me thinking, wasn't really anything. Second time I didn't have any intention in it. It was nothing. Third time it was nothing. It was the same thing. I didn't have any intention. I just did it as like most people probably do it, as oh, it's a party thing. Like that's how I felt about it because that's the view I had on it. Don't know what switched. It was just kind of like my brain clicked, and then I prepared myself for it. Like the
Yeah.
education of how to prepare yourself for that kind of experience presented itself to me.
You
And
went
then
to
I
Terrence.
hmm?
Did you listen to Terrence McKenna?
Not that time. I think I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of it, the majority of it, was introduced to me by Ghostman, the artist, because he makes that like rocky metally rap. But one thing that like he's very lyrical, and a lot of things he talks about is like he talks about like gods, deities. He talks about like rituals. He talks about like a lot of really interesting stuff. So it kind of had me like researching some things, thinking, and then like I said, that presented itself to me. And then I had a trip. It told me to do music, and then I like woke up. It was really weird. It's like my soul path, like it's like it like landed in place, like
Nice.
peacefully landed. It's like I fell out of the sky and I was doing a bunch of fucking flips and landed softly on this bed of like, this is where you belong. And I was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes up for it because how I feel right now. And then I was like, that's life. And then that kind of jump started it, I guess.
I love when life works out like that, when you kind of just ride destiny where it's supposed to go.
Yeah. No,
Hmm.
yeah. I would say, and this was recent. This was in like November. And
Right.
not only did I kind of wake up, like everything switched. My entire psyche, I feel like, is completely different.
Right.
I suddenly became vegetarian after saying my entire life, like, oh, how the fuck could you be a vegetarian? You could never do that. I don't like the way animals are killed that I eat. That's disgusting. The way, like, fast food, store bought food, I don't like that. If an animal's killed a different way, I'll consider. But I don't think meat should be eaten all the time. I think it's all moderation.
I
That's just
think
my take on it.
I think if you're in a situation where the only way you'll survive is if you eat meat and you can hunt it, I see nothing wrong with that if you give honor to it.
That's true. I agree with that. I agree with that completely, actually. But a lot of people don't do that, unfortunately. Therefore, it has to be like the right scenario for me, probably. But yeah, definitely scarcity. Like if it's scarce and like people are dying, like yeah, eat meat, please. Like eat, please survive. That's more
Yeah,
important than anything else. Like survive, you know. Um, but with the way things are right now, I think one of the things that should be taught in school is like gardening. Like
yeah,
people should be educated on that. People should know how to garden. You should know how to be self-sufficient before anything else. That should be the first thing anybody ever teaches you.
yeah. I agree. I think that meditation's extremely important to know that you shouldn't necessarily identify with like your community, your school, your town, your city, your country. You should identify with the entire universe from a very young age and know that you are a part of it, that the atoms that are in you have existed in stars and they've existed in other people, famous people, and the water that's passed through you has been in every single person ever.
It's
It's
crazy.
bigger than this.
Yeah, it I'm very glad I had the coming up that I did because I grew up in a very small town. I grew up in a town where there weren't many minorities, right? And like I saw that like kind of small town closed off life. I lived that. I am aware of that completely. I know there's a lot of that everywhere. Excuse me. But I branched out and now I'm seeing the other side of things. So seeing perspectives, I feel like is also everything. And if you can understand that you are one with the universe and understand that you are every perspective, I feel like it gives you more incentive to like think more. I feel like if people can understand that, they'll just think more, and especially think more about how other people feel.
Yeah, like why should I care? Like you need to know why you should care about other people.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it's important.
Like how closely connected every single human is, and their brains and their consciousness, the field of consciousness.
Yeah, I agree.
One of the, I don't remember where I saw this. I saw this experiment that people did. Basically, there was a picture of, this is just about the field of consciousness for you guys wondering. So it's just a picture of a face, but within that face, there was like 100 other faces. So they asked people in a closed up area in Australia, how many faces do you see? On average, I think they said it was 7 faces or something. Okay. So they took that painting again. Oh my gosh, excuse me, I need more water. They took that painting and they brought it to Europe and they showed the people in Europe. And they showed the people in Europe and they got around the same number. And then afterwards, they showed them all of the remaining faces where they all were. Okay, so then they had like both perspectives. They kind of talked about it, and then they got to see where everything was. They bring it back to Australia, different region, very close by, but it wasn't talked about. It was a very small experiment, enough to have numbers though. When they tested the other people in Australia the second time, they had, I think it was, they saw 4 more faces. I believe they saw 11.
Yeah.
On average. So that's 4 more. And the only other people that have seen the full thing that would have like kind of brought that awareness to attention were all the way in Europe. So I just find that one,
you know what that's called, right? That's called morphic. There's a scientist, Rupert, who you can look him up. Rupert Sheldrake has done all these experiments on morphic resonance where he takes mice in one country, puts them in a maze, lets them solve it, gives them prizes, and then takes that maze to another country, and the mice solve it twice as fast as a mouse. You know what I mean? Like, so the mice learn in one area, the other mice know it. And you can look up the study, Rupert Sheldrake.
That's so crazy. And that's like, these are simple studies. I feel like anybody could try this. Like, legitimately, I feel like anybody could try this.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are simple studies that show like real proof of evidence. The same way we back up other evidence is how this is being backed up. So it's like, it can't be discredited, but I feel like it is discredited. I feel like I've tried to bring up this topic to a lot of people, and it's just, it's been discredited. They're like, I don't believe you. And I'm like, but I'm telling you statistics just like the other ones that you believe were captured the same way, the same studies, the same way of studying. So what makes it different?
Regardless if it's spiritual or not, science should be science.
Yes. I definitely, I've told that to people. There was this guy I met when I was in California last time, and he was like, he was talking about spirituality, and he was like, yeah, you create your own reality, whatever. Yeah. And then I was like, I said something about science, like some fact. I forgot what we were talking about specifically. I said some fact, and I like backed it up with a study, and I kind of like, you know, I kind of bring it together. I don't just like throw some bullshit at you and make you believe me. And he was like, yeah, but you create your own reality. I was like, yeah, but the reality that you're creating is within a matrix that has rules and has a way of functioning, and it has a flow. It has a tone to it. It exists in a certain way. regardless of the reality you create, I was like, it still exists a certain way with science
Yep.
that you cannot discredit with quantum mechanics.
Oh yeah.
So,
And I mean, personally, I think they got it all wrong. There's a lot of stuff that's different, really. If you go kind of look at things from an astral perspective, everything's different. It's all happened from beginning to end. Every situation that could ever occur happened. It was created and destroyed all in the same instance, in the same synapse. It was there and it was not. It's all real and not real. Physical.
it's so crazy.
But it's still life.
It's true. When it comes to astral, I've been trying to astral project for like actually astral, like not see one video and think I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, kind of really asked a lot of people, heard a lot of people's opinions, heard a lot of people's experiences, got to kind of come up with my own way of doing it, my own rituals, and I'm getting very close. I don't even remember who told me this. Somebody told me spirituality is 100% what you make it, and that like flipped the switch in my brain. And now like I take everything as just kind of like okay, but it's not. It doesn't inject itself in my brain like it used to.
You know the problem. When I was a kid and I heard about astral projection, I was simply told by an old medicine man, "This is what I do. This is where I go and how I do it." And then I read about it in a book, and that's it. You know, your generation kind of has to see everyone else doing it online. Oh, they've all succeeded. There's all these ways of doing it. Woohoo! And then it doesn't work, and you get frustrated. The fact is, the more people you see do something, the less faith you have that you can actually do it. And I think it's important to know you can, but you have to separate yourself from all those rules and learn your own way in.
Yeah. I think I definitely, when I first started trying in general, I was doing it without any background. And I think when it comes to astral projection, you have to have background. You have to actually know, you have to actually try to comprehend at least what you're doing and what's going on. You have to understand your like energy body. I used to try to astral project, not understanding I needed even an energy shield or anything, like nothing. I used to just think I could close my eyes and I'd be like, shut off. And like, that's, I feel like what most people talk about. They don't tell you that it's a lot of visualization, a lot of focus, intense focus, a lot of relaxation. It's just, there's a lot to it. But yeah, definitely. I'm still practicing. I'm actually fasting right now, only water.
Good. Core people. Yeah.
Yes, this is the only water I drink.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe it's the human body pH. Yeah, the 7.4.
Definitely good for you. Important. That's why breathing techniques that make you alkaline are extremely important, because things can't live in an alkaline environment. I won't say those things because those words are triggers, but it can kill certain things in the body if you're alkaline. Yeah. And like, cancer.
I got you.
It can help being alkaline, for sure.
No, alkaline is, I think, one of the other things that should be taught. We should be more, I feel like, exposed to like just knowledge of everything instead of such like a rigid thing. Especially where I came from, I feel like there was nothing. It was very bland, this is it. And one thing I was always told as a kid, and still actually to this day, I'm told, oh, because that's the way it is. And I'm so sick of hearing that. I'm like, no, that means nothing to me. That means that's not the way it is. It's that way because you're letting it be that way yourself, because you yourself right now are saying that's the way it is. That's why you're miserable, just as all these millions of people. It's because everyone's just saying that's the way it is, but it's not. It's not. Yeah. Nothing has to be that's the way it is. It's numbers. We outnumber everybody.
You know,
Like,
comment. Sorry. He was talking about the fluoride in the water.
oof. Okay, I I was bringing this up to my parents recently, and my stepdad was like, "But it's for your teeth," and I was like, I cannot believe that people still think that to this day. It's 2021.
Yeah.
Fluoride in your water is not for your teeth.
Yep.
For anyone in this live that's not aware, fluoride in your water is not for your teeth. It's specifically to calcify your third eye, pineal gland, and they tell you it's for your teeth, but it specifically was used by the Nazis in Germany against Jews to have control. That's what it's for. It's a control thing. It separates you from your consciousness, you being here, you. It separates you from that because the pineal gland is also known as the seat of like your seat where your consciousness just sits, controlling you, where you exist. It's your antenna. It's where you can tune into everything. But the
Even
more that they calcify that,
yep.
the
Even
less
in
the
the
less you can even be.
yeah, it's true. Jacob in the Bible wrestled with God face to face in a place called Pineal. It's a little known passage in there. But he saw him face because his pineal gland. That's where God originally was communicating with us. And I think it's like an antenna. It has rods and cones like an eye. It can perceive light. When thine eye be single, thy whole body will be filled with light. You know, there's a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was looking more because okay, so I was looking at like when I first dove into everything, I was looking at the spiritual side, and then I was like, okay, what's the science? Because like we talked about, I need to know everything. Like I can't just think I know something. Like prove it.
Yeah.
So when I was learning about the science behind the crystals in your pineal gland, the what are they, helicite? No. What's the crystal? I forgot what kind of crystals are in your brain.
In your brain,
Yeah.
piezo.
What kind?
There's piezoelectric crystalline structures in your brain.
Yeah. Okay, so when I started understanding crystals, when I started understanding mechanical stress and electricity, and I started understanding the Kundalini rising, and I started to understand that you're literally tuning an antenna in your brain, that
Yep.
had me like mind fucked because I understand radios. I understand how this works. So when I really understood all right, y'all. So if y'all don't know, when you align your chakras, if you're meditating properly, if you're doing proper breath work, you're doing everything the right way. This isn't something like, I mean, obviously you can do it your own way because that's what spirituality is, making it your own. But there's a way that you actually are successfully doing it. So when your Kundalini rising energy goes up your spine, basically you're aligning your chakras, and you build up pressure in the base of your spine. You're at your root chakra, and there's spinal fluid that shoots up your spine and puts pressure on your brain, which causes mechanical stress, which causes electricity, and you're basically like tuning into a radio in your brain. Like it's like an antenna, and that's your third eye.
Yep.
It's also a pine cone and hieroglyphs.
Oh, there's so much. Check this out. You start at the base of the spine. You travel 33 spines or vertebra. 33 years is Jesus's life, right? When you
Threes
reach
are my number.
when you reach the base of the skull, that's called Golgotha. Golgotha, the place of the skull in the Bibles where Jesus was crucified. After you're crucified, you pass through the olive, and then you reach the cherub who's guarding the Garden of Eden, the cherub or the cerebellum in the brain. When you pass through the cerebellum, you enter the pineal gland. So you're traveling through to the Garden of Eden.
You see it like I see it. Okay, so we're on the same page. I see okay, I understand. I completely understand what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone fully explain it, but I put it together in my own brain, like just reading passages, seeing passages, looking at science, looking at the brain, looking at what the brain's called. I'm starting to try to learn Latin right now too, so I can understand words. Yeah. Because I think having a good understanding of words gives you a better understanding of what's actually going on. Because I feel like we're told how fucked up everything is, but it's told in a way that we are dumbed down to not understand. Yeah. Which is really fucked up.
Or is it on purpose?
I mean, I hope it's on purpose. I hope it's the people inside that are like on our side being like,
what if, in order to understand it, you had to go through certain processes in life to reach new levels of brainwave thought, alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and then you reread these things and you relearn them on each level of consciousness that you've attained through your life until you finally reach the ultimate answer of what it is, and it was all on purpose because that's the only way there.
I like that outlook better.
Speaking of, my kids are yelling, and I probably have to go soon, just so you know.
Oh no, you're good. You got a fan. You got to do your thing. It's cool.
To do it again too.
Oh yes, of course. Whenever. Yeah. I really, I just kind of live. I just kind of live right now. I'm definitely taking this time of my life to grow, meet people, connect with people, hear stories, hear experiences, and kind of have more experiences myself. I mean, like, I feel like experiences come from where you put yourself, and a way to put yourself in a place is to be on social media. So now I'm kind of approaching social media a little bit differently. And yeah. I think that long term, it's going to be the best payout I could have ever asked for, because everything is for the greater good for everyone, really. Just kind of like, if everyone can wake up a little bit, then we can change things. We can really change things, and everybody can be happy. Everybody can live. Everybody can live. That's just not live anything. Everybody can live. And I'm talking not survive. I'm just talking live. You know, that's all I want for this world, is I want people to be able to live.
I want them to know themselves, because if the only thing you could ever learn in this life before you died was you, then you did it. You won.
I'd say so. That's all you have. That's all you have. That's all you're guaranteed. Yes. Is you and yourself. That's all you're guaranteed. So if you can understand that, I think you beat life. Not beat life, but like you died with a W. But even then, I do believe that people pass when they're supposed to, in a way.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of cosmic reasons behind everything that are too complex for us to even comprehend or understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big algorithm, the whole thing.
It's a big, like, and it's beautiful.
Yep.
And it exists at this perfect equilibrium, balance.
If one atom was out of place, it would all go to hell. That's how all of it.
That does make sense, actually, with the structure of everything.
It's got to have a structure. Everything is exactly as it's meant to be.
Okay. It was in November last year when I was waking up that I had the realization that all is. And like, I feel like you understand what I'm saying. Some other people might be like, what? All is. But like, all right now, this is. Like, this is this is. That's it.
That's it.
That smacked me, and I was like, holy shit. And that gave me a better understanding of time in general.
It all is, and you are.
Yes. We are.
We are. But
we are.
Thing.
That's crazy. I love that. Yeah.
How do How do you know I'm even in this mask? What if this is just you talking to yourself in your room?
It could be. I have had thoughts that I'm like absolutely delusional and like my friends are not real and like I'm crazy and everyone's like playing a plot against me, but I I snapped out of it. I mean, you
Okay.
could be me.
In your life, I'm you talking to me, who is a stranger. But in my life, I'm me talking to you, who is a stranger. But I've accomplished both.
That is a fact.
Word.
I understand. That is a fact. We're on the same page. We're on the
Yeah.
same page. I
Well,
understand you. And I'm glad you understand me the way I think.
yeah, of
Hopefully.
course. No, I had a great time. This was a pleasure. I was nervous because I haven't been on live in a long time. But it was
I've never
good.
gone live with anyone before, so
Yeah, well, I used to be on YouTube as a different
okay.
person.
Okay. YouTube, man. I tried YouTube. I tried to start uploading on YouTube. When my video didn't upload 6 times, I think it was telling me just chill for now. So I think once I try again, I already know it'll start working.
Yeah,
But at the time that I was trying, I feel like everything was just like, Manny, this isn't like, don't even try right now.
yeah,
I think I was gonna be putting too much on my plate, and the universe was not having it.
yeah. I feel you. You gotta, like we said earlier, it's the destiny thing. You know when you know.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. You can feel it. Trust that feeling. You don't feel it for no reason. It's a feeling. It exists. It's real.
You know what? I feel it right now. Face reveal. No,
That'd be nuts.
no, I'm just kidding.
He was about to Captain America that. Throw that shit. It's gone.
So you play a lot of music. That's what you do?
Yeah, so I feel like I just started making music not that long ago. I originally started on here. I did like dance videos and comedy stuff. My content used to be more consistent. My content used to be more uniform. I used to look completely different. I used to feel completely different. I was not where I am now, but I had to experience everything obviously to get here, like I was saying. But
Yeah.
the old content, I don't really associate with anymore. Not
I
a
get it.
fan. I don't like that it follows me. But I don't know really specifically when it was. This might have been December that the music thing clicked in my brain. And I dropped the project and I think it was on Christmas. Yeah, I
Yeah.
dropped the project. Yeah, on the 25th. I dropped the project on the 25th, and then I made that other song just recently in California. I feel like everything's very new, but
Nice.
I feel right. I feel at home. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I feel like that's the most important thing in
Yeah,
general.
I agree. I always wanted to do music. I've been playing guitar for over 20 years. It just never, I had kids. I have a bunch of kids, and my
Mhm.
life, lead guy at my work, doing different things. So it's been pretty busy. I never got a
Mhm.
chance to, do that part. But I practice every day for like an hour. I've been killing it.
Mhm.
So who cares? I know.
Guitar is its own thing. I tried to learn. Okay, I tried to learn. I was dating this girl. She was gonna teach me, but then obviously whatever. So I kind of just have a guitar now, and it
I'll
just
teach.
kind of sits there. And I think about playing it all the time, but I for some reason don't think I'm ready yet. I think I need to wait a little bit longer until I have enough clear mental space to put my heart and soul into it because
Yeah,
I don't think I'm ready right now to even try to like waste my time, pluck a couple strings, and then put it down for another couple weeks.
makes sense. But
Being real.
when you're ready, I'll teach you for free.
I would love that. I would be very grateful to learn because
Yeah.
yeah, I have zero. I know nothing. So
Can I play it for you real quick before I have to go?
play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I was locked in my room basically all the time. and I had a guitar in there. So I learned to play it by myself. Like I just started finding where like the happy notes were,
Mhm.
you know, and then I would just pick them out till I found them all. You know?
Whew. You're
And so
shredding. You're
yeah,
shredding. Casually.
for me,
Casually just. Nice.
there we go.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciated that.
a lot of years gone into that thing.
Good. I mean, it paid off, right?
Yeah, because I get to hear it every day.
Man, that's the one thing people think it's weird. Sometimes I listen to my own music, but it's like I've really worked on that.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you rock your own clothes that you made? Because I really worked on that, and I want to enjoy it because I just worked on it for me.
If you don't love it, why'd you do it?
Exactly. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. We should be able to take more pride in it without feeling cocky.
I agree with that very much.
Yeah, most
All right.
definitely.
Well, listen, thank you so much for having me on today. I really
Yes,
appreciate
of course. Yeah, of course. It was fun. We'll
Yeah.
we'll do more of these. We can like do these whenever.
it. Yeah, let's
This
do a
is
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
Bet.
That'd be
Bet. Take care. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Have a good night. Goodbye,
You
everybody.
too. Peace. How does this work?